Nicholas.
All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, welcome to another amazing edition to Soulful Conversations. Well, we bring you the most amazing individuals, talent on the planet. And once again, of course, I scour the globe so you guys don't have to. And once again, I have delivered because we have Mr. Kira on with her. And so, just to let you know a little bit about her, she's a multi-talented force, singer, dancer, storyteller, truth bringer. Born from performing in ballet companies overseas to choreographing movements that speaks louder than words, um, to now delivering vocals that piece straight to the heart. Her voice is both a balm and a battle cry. You can hear her music all over. Witness her commanding presence in dance spaces across the country. But today we sit down with her not just as a performer, but as a woman who's using her gifts to heal, express, and awaken. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I give you Mr. Kira.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super grateful. And I'm really excited to talk about just like the arts in general because I feel like I've been a part of so many forms of art and storytelling that I feel like it's all kind of connected.
So let's kind of start like in the beginning. So what initially started you as far as like that bug of like getting into the arts?
I started off praise dancing. I went to a school called Sam Cushion Academy, and they really pushed me for me to go to an arts high school. After that, I studied at Joffrey Ballet, and then I went to North Carolina School of the Arts, where I just became really fascinated with like more of like theater, with like dancing and acting. Once I graduated, I felt like I really took a dive into more theater performances, choreographing more, and performing more. And what's kind of interesting about it is I didn't really start making music until I was like kind of forced to. I had got a concussion and I wasn't able to like physically dance. So I had just started doing a lot of writing and doing a lot of just like healing myself. And then it became music.
Okay, so where does a lot of the because it's would you call your music more in the category of neo soul?
Um, I try not to put like I make R&B, but I'm heavily inspired by neo soul. I'm very inspired by gospel. Um, and I'm really inspired by alternative R&B. So I would say it's like a mixture of those, but I would say R&B, yes.
Okay. So your background blends classical dance, soulful music. How have movement music healed or helped shape your identity?
So I will say that music really got me comfortable with storytelling. It like allowed me to um story tell without my voice first. So being able to like just convey emotions without even speaking has been really, really key for me as a performer. And it's also it helped me with just like stage confidence, like understanding energy and just like understanding the power of like connecting with someone and making them feel vulnerable.
And what was the transition like for you from dancer and choreographer to recording artist?
Um, I would say that the transition was kind of smooth. Um, just because the way I was performing, I was on a lot of stages dancing. So it really helped me with just like getting over my fear of being shy. I'm known for being extremely just more introverted. Sometimes, or more just like to myself, I really, really love my solitude. So dancing really helps me with just like putting myself out there, being willing to be vulnerable and being willing to story tell and just put myself out there to be seen, but also out there to like also heal others.
And what would you say, like your would you say your dancing as an artist choreographer that gave you a voice in a sense to kind of break through that introverted part of yourself?
For sure. Um, I truly believe that like dance helps me be more comfortable with my body and more confident within my body. I feel like that's something that I see a lot of like women struggle with like just being comfortable and open and willing to embrace their bodies. And I think that's such a powerful thing because we only get this one body, right? And it's up to us to fully accept it, love it, and cherish it. So dance really put me in the space to really hold space for myself, and it also helped me just heal my traumas. Like, I know I'm not the only one that has went through any type of like assault or abuse. And I had the opportunity to work with someone named Jenna Parker, who did a lot of movement therapy for victims who were assaulted or abused. And that really healed me, but it also allowed me to work with women that were healing themselves and understand their body and their voice. So it was like dance was very healing for me.
Because you like if you would look at you, you know, from the outside looking in, just you as an artist, I think a lot of people don't see like the behind closed doors things, and they would maybe like see your pictures or you're in a video or you know something like that, and they would think like you're you know like you're fearless in a sense. So what is it about just being a performer where you can just like just be able to just turn it on and uh, feel or just kind of go more into that moment.
I think something that I've been grateful that I've been able to do is do things when I'm really scared. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes I operate in that energy a lot. So even my shoot that I recently did, that was my cover photo for my recent release, I'm Ready. I've never did a lingerie shoot before. Ever in my life, but I was like, I want to do something that's super vulnerable, super feminine, super like dancey, but also strong and powerful. And I really wanted to embrace that side of me being afraid. So I can see how I come off fearless, but I think it's really powerful to operate in not letting your fear control you and just like going for the things that seem kind of scary, because on the other side is a blessing. And for me, every time I like kind of operate in that energy, I've seen myself grow more, but also it just helps my confidence as an artist to like just conquer things that I sometimes think is like outside the box for me. I'm like, is there really a box?
Yeah, yeah, and that's interesting. You know, I think sometimes we as creatives, you know, we have a tendency to put ourselves and you know a lot of society to you know they think we're like this or we're like that, and we have a tendency to like put ourselves inside of this box when there is no box in the sense of it. You know, now I think you figure that out as you're you know because you're very multi-layered you know and as far as your talent goes. So was that something like with you that you figured out like there was no you know no box that you could put yourself in as far as the creative and the thing that you could do?
I think it came with like self acceptance. When
Mm,
I first started, I was only doing dancing, but I grew up in the church. So I've always been someone who kind of dressed outlandish. I always loved to sing. I always loved to praise dance. So for me, as I got older, I was like, I'm not going to silence my voice. And I think once I really stepped away from concert dance, I was able to embrace that more, because when you're in concert dance or when you're doing ballet and you're part of a corps, you are used to looking like everybody else. You're in the same color tights, leotard, your hair is pulled back the same way, you're not doing any extra makeup. You are there to be in a uniform and look the same. And I think once I broke out of that cycle, I was able to embrace myself more and really be like be able to be this person who loves fashion, who loves acting, who loves singing, and embrace all those parts of me. So I think the more we allow ourselves to have that freedom is the more we'll realize like that we're not just like one thing.
Right. And of course, and with you being like you know, a quadruple threat, with the with the dancing and the acting and the and the choreography and the and the music. So speaking of music, what's one thing about the music or the entertainment industry that you that might have kind of caught you by surprise that you could maybe pass along to like the younger generation that are kind of that look up to you and that are following in your footsteps?
I think when I was first starting, I was just making music to heal myself because I was in a place where I was just like
Mm.
needing to speak and move and I couldn't. So I would say um, to not conform, not don't have any moments of conforming of like trends or dressing like people. Fully be yourself and stay with it no matter what comes, because if it's not authentic, it's definitely going to go. And I think that's the only way is to have like longevity in this career is to be yourself and be willing to grow with yourself and fully love yourself. Don't like put yourself in a box. Don't label yourself, and don't also hold yourself back from fear. And that's, I think, something that I have been, even though I come off fearless, like you said, I do. No, I do struggle with like certain things like social media posting. Like I've been working with this girl, this woman named Jazzy, and she's amazing. Her name is Jazzy Kiera, and she is a marketing branding genius. She's like a creative genius, and she's been helping me with being consistent posting and like being intentional with my posting and building relationships and connecting through my posting. So I would just say to continue to be yourself as an artist and be authentic, but also bring along the right people that really believe in your voice and help you build your own world. Because I feel like that's also really important. Instead of trying to put yourself in somebody else's world, like make your own universe.
True. I feel that too. We really do need people that are just more authentic. A lot of sometimes a lot of what you see is like a lot of regurgitation of what works, and okay, cool, we need another one of this individual, and we'll just repackage them and just make it just a little, maybe just make it a little different.
Yes. You see
And
it so much. You see
right.
it so much. But it's also then you start to pick up on it, and it's like outside of you repeating the same melody and flow and having the same look as another artist, like who are you really and what am I really connecting to?
Mhm.
And I think once you like start seeing that and you become more aware, you start to be connected to like things that are a little bit more authentic. Like there's an artist named Isaiah Falls. Love them. They're so authentic. Their writing is like just really like beautiful and soft and almost kind of like really vulnerable. But it's like it's still new. Like it's very similar to Drake in terms of like how he embraces women and loving women, but his approach is more delicate and like authentic and soothing. So I think that when you are yourself, you allow yourself to stand out and to actually be valued.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like more of that is needed in all different industries, and kind of happy that social media is here now because it allows artists to be themselves in a sense, and it lets the people kind of, discover them along their journey.
Yeah, and also social media is a really cool way to track like all the phases you went through. Like I was
Mm.
looking back at myself and I was like, oh my God, like all the stages of me finding myself and finding my voice is so important and it's so cool, but it's so nice to look back and be like, wow, I've grown through that. Wow, this is still a part of me, but it's more evolved.
So knowing what you know now and having the experiences that you have now, what would you go back and tell the younger version of yourself that's just finding their rhythm, just finding those steps and finding their voice as far as pushing through their fears as far as wanting to live their dreams?
Something I would tell my younger self is enjoy the process. Like, enjoy the process. I think that sometimes we are so like ready to see like the fruits of the labor. But I think sometimes like just going through the process and finding yourself is the most important thing. And I think with social media too, a lot of people feel the need to actually go quicker than what they're ready to do. And I think it's really important to know yourself as an artist just to make sure that like what you're putting out is valuable, but also that you value yourself and you actually know who you are.
Very, very true. And I had a conversation with a good friend. It's like once you make that transition, it's like a lot of things change. It's like, are you ready for being on the road? Are you ready for being away from family? And are you ready for like being recognized out in public when you're not gonna when you could just walk through get out the plane, just walk through the airport like it's, like you're an everyday person. So, a lot of you have to really take a lot of that stuff into consideration.
Yeah, and I think also too, I think a lot of artists, we're so great at doing the artist side, but a lot of us are not willing to step into the business side. And I think that's also a part of it that's so important is to make sure you understand how to have these relationships, how to market your music correctly, how to build a team, and just having discernment and going through things enough where you can have discernment to pick the right people to be a part of your team. It's like it takes time.
And so you mentioned doing like liturgical dance in church. How did growing up in the church help you to be the more well-rounded artist that you are right now?
I think like growing up in a church, it made me realize that I'm just a vessel. And like for me, it just helped me realize that no matter what art form I decide to use or choose to express myself, I'm still going to be telling a story and a message to connect with people. And that's something that I've always loved with church is like, no matter what, people come there for the message and they come to release, they come to heal, they come to find community. And I feel like with arts, the music, acting, you're giving them the same thing, regardless if you're giving them a Bible verse directly or you're just giving them a message of like, have faith in yourself, you can make it. It's still a message.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's what, even like myself in my journey, I've found that this is bigger than me. And like you said, I'm you put that beautifully. Like we are just vessels in a sense, as we're going along on our natural journey. So let me ask you this. So as a Black woman artist in both music, dance industries, what challenges have you faced in owning your truth, and what keeps you grounded?
Um, I think something that I have faced that has been an issue for me is at first when I first started doing music, I didn't understand marketing. I didn't understand how people viewed me. I just knew that I was an artist with a voice. And I think because like things happened so fast in the beginning that it made me learn the business so quickly. Like my first song, Lonely, it got a television placement on All American. And that made me have to understand splits and just like paying out and just what everything looks like that I never had to deal with as a dancer. So I just feel like learning the business is really really important, but that's something that I have faced, that I've been like learning to navigate more, and also bringing in the right people that can help teach me so I can be better at it, because I think that's really important too. It's like acknowledging as an artist where you lack or where you are not strong at, and I think for me in the beginning that was not my strength.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I you know, I've heard I've heard so many stories about people and more of the music business that, they didn't read their contracts. Like the TLCs of the world, they were like, hey, we sold millions of records, and in the end, we only we got like pennies.
Mhm.
It's like solidity. So knowing the business, knowing the business, like you said, is very, 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 very important.
Mhm. And I think it's also key for you to grow. Like there's things that I've did that have helped me. Like just even reaching out to artists and producers and people that are part of certain labels to ask for more information. Like getting a call with Rush D, who's an amazing producer. He manages ATL Jacob, but just like asking him for advice and to asking him like what should my next step be. I think more artists should reach out for mentorship or reach out to um just have advice, because I think so many times like we're so not well, we're sometimes we're ego driven and we're like, oh, I got this, or I'm going to keep on doing the same thing. And it's like if it's not working, maybe you need help. And it's
Right.
not a bad thing, because sometimes when you're inside of something, you can't see what it looks like on the outside.
That's yeah. That's very true. Like along the journey, the person that you were, a year, 2 years ago, or even 6 months ago, you're a different individual, than
Yeah.
you were back then. Maybe sometimes it's maybe hard to catch that because you could be busy and it's like, it could be like go go go, in a sense of it. But so let me ask you this question. If your artistry had a mission statement, what would it be?
My mission statement would be I want people to feel comfortable to be their real selves and to feel free enough to be vulnerable and openly heal. I feel like it's so much shame um, with just going through things out loud. And I think sometimes the most important thing that we have is community. And that's something I'm learning too, is that it's okay to be loud with your wounds. And that, I mean, that's what your voice is there for, is to like actually speak, you know?
Hmm. And yeah, so then again, let me. I just want to, I just want to thank you because, because we're like way over time. It's like,
I'm so
we're like,
sorry. I'm a chatter. I'm a yapper.
I know that's okay. I was like, well, does she want to keep going?
I'll keep going if you let me. Okay, don't do it.
Okay, I'll ask you. Okay, I'll ask you this last question. So
Okay.
what's next for Takira? What are you working on that the world needs to know
Okay, so I have a show June 27th at Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I'm performing with a great band. This is my first time with them playing and singing with me. I'm working with three talented artists, Briscoe, AVG, and Jay Lee. They have been a blessing to me. And then also something I am working on is I am about to release my music video for I'm Ready. And I think this one is really, really exciting just because it's kind of me diving into like something I'm actually not fearful of, but something that's very different from my aesthetic. So I'm really grateful to just be like conquering that and building with the team that I'm building with. I'm working with a lady named Juliana, and they're collective with Quiet, and they are amazing, like visionaries with bringing things to life. So those are the two things I'm excited for. So if you can, come check out my show in LA, June 27th. And then also, I will be having a music video for I'm Ready coming out soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, and that this is the amazing Takira. Of course, you know who I am. You know, Mr. C. You see me all the time here, so of course, you know I am Mr. Soul of a Man, and you know I just want to again thank my amazing guests and her very busy schedule for taking time to come through. But don't leave. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, and you know we'll talk after.
No, you're
But all
fine.
right, y'all. Yeah, so all right, y'all. You know, as always, I just want to thank y'all for coming in and checking us out. And where can people find you on social media?
On social media, you can find me as Takira, TAQUIRAH, on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, TikTok, all that.
Yeah, see that. See the young kids nowadays say that's a flex when you're on iTunes. Seriously. See, she's doing big things out here, ladies and gentlemen. But all right, folks. Again, as always, we are out this piece, y'all. Until next time, peace.
Thank you.
Yeah.